Another Climate Commission report and more bad news. As our leaders battle it out over what is the right approach to reduce carbon emissions, the world keeps turning and burning up. What we know is that we're already seeing an increase in global temperature, shifting rainfall patterns, a rise in sea levels, more bushfires and other extreme weather, including prolonged heat waves. And it's that last one that is the real killer. Between 1803 and 1992, more than 4,000 Australians died as a direct result of heat waves, twice the number of deaths caused by floods or cyclones. And given Australia has just experienced the hottest summer on record and heat waves are becoming more common, our ageing population is at serious risk.
Heat waves have been called the silent killer because they're a very serious threat to our health. During a heatwave, our body is placed under immense stress, and this has led to an increased number of excess deaths.
Further, the Climate Commission report says indirectly we'll see increased air pollutants, leading to more asthma attacks, and with extreme rainfall, an increase in disease-transmitting mosquitoes. Seriously, this thing is more depressing than, I don't know, reading Romeo and Juliet alone on a Friday night. Alone? So alone. So, is it too late for humankind, or is there a way to escape an impending doom, where so many of us would probably die alone? So alone. Kirsty Albion is the co-director of the Australian Youth Climate Coalition, and last week was awarded the Prime Minister's Young Environmentalist of the Year award. Now, Kirsty, what did you take from the report that we're all going to die alone?
Oh, no, not at all. I took away what we already know, is that climate change is already happening, and that it's affecting people all across Australia and the world. And we broke through 123 records this summer of extreme heat, rainfall, of sea level rise, and that's just with 1 degree of warming worldwide.
Kirsty, the health warnings associated with climate change are pretty scary. When are we likely to start seeing those impacts?
We're already seeing those impacts in Australia. There are more people that passed away in the heat waves in Victoria than did in the Black Saturday bushfires. We have heard that from the experts, the world's leading medical journal, that climate change is going to be the biggest threat to human health in the 21st century. That's more than heart disease, more than cancer, and that's really stark. And in Australia, it's the most vulnerable in our society who'll be hit the most, like our grandparents.
Kirsty, I wonder if you ever have any doubt about whether this change is permanent. And given the Commission says this decade is the most critical, can you quantify for me what the global warming change has been this decade? How much has the planet warmed, according to you, this decade so far?
Yeah, so the experts are calling this the critical decade for the impacts of climate change. We're really seeing those ramp up, but also the critical decade to take action. We've just come out of the hottest summer in the hottest decade, and as a young person under the age of 28, we haven't experienced a single month of below average global temperatures. So the climate's obviously changing, and we've had almost 1 degree of warming since pre-industrial times, and we're looking at 4 to 6 degrees of warming unless we change our path.
But hasn't the warming stalled?
No, and I wish it were true, but it really isn't. And the experts are saying that, and this isn't just the Climate Commission, but the World Health Organization, the World Trade Organization, the International Energy Agency, these are big global bodies that are saying, look, we need to take immediate action on climate change. We need to transition to 100% renewable energy, and we need to start that transition in the next few years.
So, Kirsty, as the co-director of the Youth Climate Coalition, do you recommend a YOLO approach to climate change or a no-YOLO approach to climate change?
So what we need to do is transition to renewable energy, and Australians are already getting on with the job. We've had 1 million Australians power their homes with solar, and that transition is starting to happen globally as well. And Australia is so blessed. We've got so much renewable energy resources. We're one of the sunniest and windiest countries on earth, and that's what we need to do. And as young Australians, we're ready to get on with the job.
Well, we appreciate you speaking to us. Thanks, Kirsty.
Thank you.